Hey everyone, Lauren here. I want to talk about something that is really serious to me. It's something that has been on my mind now for months, and it's something that I really want to start talking about with people, and I want people to start talking about this more. So I'll start off with my situation. Basically, I have been a student for the last 5 years of my life. I started off as a marketing major, and I decided I didn't want to be in marketing, and I changed over to geology. And last year, I attended Humboldt State University up in Northern California. But as I finished school, there were budget cuts that happened and new regulations got put up that said, hey, fifth year students are no longer eligible to receive part of the financial aid for going to school. So half of my financial aid was cut. I was in different. I was in a situation where I was moving off campus. My family lived far away in Southern California. There's just a lot of things happening that I did not want to deal with. And so I was going to have to take out $12,000 in loans for the next year in order for me to continue school up there. And I just said, you know what, I don't want to do this. I don't want to take out these loans. I mean, so much is happening with the public education system in terms of budget cuts and new regulations going up. I just said, I don't know what's going to happen another year or a few years down the road. I don't even want to mess with this. So I decided to leave school and move down to Southern California with my family and continue at a community college, continue the courses that I can take, which is like physics and physics and calculus. That's what I have to take. Anyway, so now I'm down here. I have a lot of free time right now, and I've just noticed how I have no skill whatsoever right now. I've been to school for so long, but I have nothing to offer people really. I don't have my degree. It's like I can't even work anything in with the water agencies or anything in my area because I don't have a degree. And so I've just been thinking more about this in the long term, what's going to happen when I finish my degree. So the thing is that if I finish my degree in geology, I question where am I going to be able to work. Now, I'm not the kind of person who is like, well, I'll just move anywhere, wherever there's work. And I feel that that's what a lot of people do. When they finish their degree, they say, okay, well, I guess I'll just go find a job somewhere, and that's where I'm gonna live for the rest of my life, or something like that. Now, that's not what I want to do. See, for me, for the last 6 years, I've said I want to live out in the desert in Southern California, out in the boonies. That is my dream, and my dream is to live off the grid. Now, when I think about pursuing my degree in geology, I'm like, wow, that's really going to dictate where I live. I'm probably going to have to live in Los Angeles or San Diego or something like that if I want to live within close distance of my job, and that's not what I want to do. Now, I understand that there's water drillers and there are water agencies out in the desert, but I'm really questioning what is going to be available for me out there. So, in the long run, it's made me question, do I really want to pursue my degree in school? Because what is it going to do for me in the long run? I mean, I would love to teach children about environmental awareness and things like that, but do I really need a degree to do that? I don't know. So it's really made me look at what am I doing in school? What am I doing altogether? Now, part of me is not like, well, I'm going to just go get a job. And this is really where the conflict is coming in for me is obviously we need to make money somehow, right? I mean, that's how our whole system works. And you guys can bring up what your take is on this. I mean, in terms of do we absolutely need money? I've talked with people about this subject. It's really interesting. So, I think that the future is really going to change now that changes are happening with the public education system. I mean, really, right now, I just want to drop my degree. I just want to say, you know what, I don't want anything to do with the public education system. I was just reading an article about how there's no longer a 6 month grace period for students to start paying off on their loans after they graduate. I mean, things are just getting crazy with the public education system. And on top of that, like I said, it's dictating where you have to live. I mean, yeah, you have a degree, you might have this thing that's just so special, but if you're okay with living in the city, then that's fine. For people like me, where I want to live out in the desert, I just, and the more I think about it, the more I think it's not going to benefit me. It's going to dictate what I have to do. And I think it's because I feel that I am relying on my degree for my job. But the more that I think about it, I think that the future for people is just to be more creative. And I think the thing is to be more creative, but to change our expectations or our ideas of how we want to live. Now, a lot of us think that, we want a big house and things like that. And I think that that's something that's going to have to change. See, when I'm living out in the desert, I want to live off the grid, like I said. I really want to live an alternative way of an alternative style of living. So it's not going to be incredibly expensive, like having to make payments on a house or anything like that, like ridiculous payments for a long period of time. So for me, I'm not going to have very many expenses, so I could probably get by on projects that I work on that will help people, that are creative projects that won't bring in like a heck load of money. Maybe they could. Maybe I could do something that is, is does get a lot of hype or something like that. But ultimately, I'm just noticing how getting a degree is not, I don't think it's worth it. I'm meeting so many people now who are working in industries that do not relate to their degrees. I think it's absolutely amazing that that's happening. And I want to bring this up to students now, students who are in school now and students who are going to be in school in the future. I mean, where do you see yourself in the future? Do you want where you're living or your life to be dictated by this degree that you have, by student loans, by having to pay off your student loans, having to live somewhere that you don't want to live because you need this job? I mean, what is the future for you and what do you want to do? This is something very serious for me. Honestly, like, I'm about to be brought to tears over this subject because it goes against everything that I was taught. I mean, I remember going to the University of California, Riverside, when I was in first grade, and I remember it being shoved down my throat. The school system telling me, you need to go to school, you need to go to college, or else you're going to amount to nothing. This is where you want to be. I mean, I was in first grade at the time, and me and other students, and that's all it came down to when we got into high school was, what university are you going to go to? So for me to come to this realization, I mean, it's like a development of years and years of this nonsense being crammed down my throat and being crammed in my mind. And now it's just coming to a realization for me. So tell me what you think and tell me what your experiences are. I welcome that, and I look forward to that. Thanks for watching.